Hello, friends. Miss Davis and I are so sad that we are going to have to miss art class today, but we have a wonderful sub who was kind enough to come in and help us out. So we are going to show them nothing but the utmost respect. I know you all will because you are wonderful students. Yeah, but if something doesn't go according to plan and you for some reason don't, Miss Davis and I will hear about it and we will be very upset. And this is going to be a presentation that talks about what we'll be doing in art class today. And in just like art class when Miss Davis and I are there, the more you talk, the more I talk. And I know you don't like that, and neither do I. So if you sit quietly and pay attention, this presentation will be over very quickly. But if you are talking and being disruptive, the sub will keep pausing this video just as I do whenever I'm doing a presentation, and this will take a very long time. So the decision is up to you. So we are going to be talking about an awesome artist. His name is Piet Mondrian. A pretty funny name, huh? He is a Dutch artist who is best known for his abstract paintings. So I know we have kind of touched on abstract paintings a little bit. So abstract means non-recognizable. So it's not a person, an object, or a landscape. Instead, Mondrian used only colors and shapes in his paintings. So he only used the primary colors. So that is red, yellow, and blue in a grid-like structure with these thick black lines. So I'm going to show you. So we have this grid-like structure. So that means that there's all these different squares and rectangles divided by this thick black line. And then he used the primary colors. So we have red, yellow, and blue. And once again, we have those shapes. So we have the squares, the rectangles, and then we have that thick black line. He didn't use circles. He didn't use triangles. He didn't use octagons. He only used rectangles and squares. And here's another one. He put all of his color on the outside edge. If that's something you would like to do when we talk about our project, that is more than okay. And then this is the last one I'm going to be showing you today. So in this piece, I want to take a little break and I want to talk about how Mondrian developed his craft. So do we see in this red square, there's no white space? No, there's not. It goes all the way over to that black line and all the way over to the edge of the painting. And there's no white space in the middle. He did a very good job of filling that all in. So he was very careful when he painted this red square. So I know you were all waiting so impatiently saying, Miss B, what are we going to be doing with these awesome paintings? They are so cool. Well, I will tell you, we will be making our own art piece inspired by Mondrian's paintings. So when I say inspired, I don't mean we are going to copy exactly, because that would be really boring. We are going to use the elements from Mondrian's paintings, such as that grid structure using those rectangles and squares, and that thick black line in the primary colors to make our own Mondrian-inspired collage. Whoa, how cool, right? So I'm going to show you exactly how we're going to do that, okay? So there's a few things that we're going to have to get. We're going to have to get a white piece of paper. And then when we get our piece of paper, what are we going to do? We're going to write our name on it because that's what we always do. And we're going to get some black strips of paper that are so nicely cut for you already. A glue stick, mine's a little bit different than yours, but it glues the same. Markers in the primary colors. A pencil, and a pair of scissors, which I forgot to add here, but you will need scissors. So we are going to make a grid type structure with these black lines here. So we're going to take these strips and we are going to measure where we would like them to go, and then we're going to cut them and glue them down. So mine is already halfway complete because I didn't want this presentation to take 25 minutes. So mine's partway done. You will start with a white piece of paper and start completely from scratch. So we want to push that strip down to make sure it sticks. And we're going to take another piece and we are going to measure it, and this time I tore it. So you can tear it instead of cutting it if you would like. I like to cut it, but if you want to tear it, that is completely fine. And since this is your own art piece, you can do as many or as few black lines as you would like. But remember, Miss Davis and I will be seeing these, so we'll know if you blew it off and didn't put any effort in. Please put effort in. So I decided that piece was too thick and I wanted to use a thinner piece. So that is part of my artistic style. So you can use any of the different lines. So some of them might be thinner, some of them might be thicker. So I'm going to use the excess part of that strip that I just cut. So we are going to try to reuse as much of the strip as possible. And here I left a little tiny tail hanging off. So if I didn't cut it close enough, I can always take it back off before the glue dries, cut that little piece off, and then stick it back down. So then and if we have some little ends sticking up that didn't completely get glued down, just take your glue stick and put a little bit more glue on them and stick them back down so they don't fall off. So then when we are done with our glue stick, we're going to put our cap back on. So you're going to twist your cap back on like you normally would. So now we're going to start with our markers. Once you have your grid down, you want to start with your markers. So I'm going to start with red, but I want to make sure that I get all the way up to that black line. So in order to do that, I'm going to outline that box. And then I'm going to carefully color it in so I don't leave any white marks. And then I'm going to do the same for the blue. I am going to outline that box. And then I'm going to carefully color it in, leaving no white marks. So I'm going to use yellow, and this one's a little bit different because it has the edge of the paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline where that black line is, and then I'm going to carefully go along the edge of the paper whenever I get down to the bottom to make sure there is no white space left. So since this is a big rectangle, it's going to take me a while to color it in. I'm going to use this time to talk about clean up. So whenever it is time to clean up, please make sure all the little scraps that someone probably won't be able to use for their Mondrian inspired collage make it to the garbage. Any pieces that are larger than maybe 1.5 inches, so that you think someone could possibly use, please put them back so they can be reused. Paper does not grow on trees. Actually, it does. It's made of trees, but that's okay. So you see how I did that, how I colored just the edge right there? You want to make sure you very, very carefully. So now you do as much as you would like to, and That is my finished example, but yours can look completely different than mine. You can color more and you can color less. And you will probably finish your Mondrian inspired collage before the end of art class. And if that happens, that's great. Start another one. You can do as many as you would like. But please make sure that Miss Davis and I know that you put in real effort. You really tried to make an interesting design. So I hope you have a wonderful art class, and we miss you very, very much, and we will see you tomorrow or next art class.